Let's check our Karen checklist, shall we? Karen here. Smug face. Bad attitude.
I cannot hear you, Judge Webster, honestly.
We got an awesome Karen here in court today, and by God, does this judge take good care of her. And a big shout out to my buddy Time Served for sharing this video with me. You can check out his link down below.
Is this just a motion to revoke probation, Ms. Gillette?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have her attorney here?
She doesn't have an attorney, Judge, because they just did a warrant and then she was arrested.
Well, I see she was last here, December 13th, 2022, with Attorney Fogberry. And there was 3 negotiations, and she pled guilty to count 2, which was violation of a protection order, and she was sentenced. So we're also, okay, motion to revoke probation. I see. So, Ms. Reeves, the state is wanting to revoke your probation on the grounds that you failed to pay your costs and fines as directed, having a balance.
I'm sorry. I can't hear you at all. You're completely unclear. I totally can't hear you. Seriously. I'm being for real.
I understand. I've been being.
I cannot hear you, Judge Webster, honestly.
Deputy, is there anything you can do?
You are very quiet in the jail, Judge.
And there's nothing you can do to turn that up?
The computer is on max. It was this way with the last 2 hearings.
Like completely maxed out.
Missy, do you want to look at this again?
I don't know what to say. Judge Webster, honestly, we can't hear you. We honestly can't hear you anymore.
You can't hear her.
Can't hear you.
Can't?
Oh boy. She's missing.
Yeah, she turned her camera off so that she can try to adjust her.
She completely is missing.
Ms. Gillette, is that any better? Or deputy, is that any better?
It's the same, Judge.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Judge Webster. I'm sorry.
Any better?
It's a little better, but still quiet.
Deputy, is that any better at all?
Not really, Judge.
She's been muffled all afternoon. I don't know what's going on with her. Normal system is not working normally.
Okay, so the judge moved to get the sound a little bit better, and we get back down to business. Let's see if she'll be so smug now.
Ms. Reeves, you're here because the state has filed, as I was saying, a motion to revoke probation. They are alleging, first of all, that you failed to pay court costs and fines as directed, and that you have a balance of $263. They're also saying you violated your probation by failing to report as directed on February 13th, 2023. They're also alleging that you left the jurisdiction without permission from your court service officer on January 12th, 2023. Probation. They are saying that at the time your whereabouts were unknown. And that would have been May 9, 2023. So just today, but apparently it didn't take them long to find you.
Apparently.
All right, so you do have the right to an attorney and the right to a hearing on this. So do you want to hire an attorney or apply for court appointed? You can waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself, but you certainly have the right to an attorney.
Is that a question? Would you like my answer, Judge
Yes,
Webster?
it is. Yes.
Yes, it's a question, and yes, you would like my answer at this point, Judge Webster?
Yes, Ms. Reeves.
Is that okay with you, Gillette?
You need to answer the judge as to whether or not you need an attorney.
I'm asking you and Judge Webster at the same time, making it abundantly clear to everybody present live. Yes, correct? Gillette, County Attorney?
How many different languages do you want the word yes in? Yes, we, see, ta, da, tack. Any of them making sense to you, Karen? Just answer the feckin' question.
And
All right,
Judge
Ms.
Webster?
Reeves. Ms. Reeves, now come on. Just answer my question. Do you want an attorney?
I would like to file for court-appointed attorney, Judge Webster and Gillette, County Attorney, I believe I would need paperwork to do so.
Well, you can fill out a paper or you can answer a few questions and we can decide if you qualify probably pretty quickly.
Wonderful. That sounds like a great idea, Judge Webster.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. Are you employed?
Not currently, but I believe at this point in time, I will be self-employed from this point forward until I just die.
And you've been unemployed for how long?
I have been unemployed since November 1st of 2022.
Okay. I will appoint an attorney. Her name will be Shannon Cooper.
Got it. I believe I found her card
Mhm.
upon my arrival to the Greenwood County Jail.
That looks like the card I'm familiar
It looks
with.
just like this right here. Shannon L. Cooper, attorney at law, 316-833-1154.
All right.
Andover, Kansas, because I have actually been in her office.
Very good.
Very
Judge.
wonderful. Very wonderful.
Yes.
I
Ms.
don't know if she can take this case. I think there may be a conflict because I believe Mr. Favre was appointed last time.
What about M. Blake Cooper?
Well,
He would
what
have a
does that-
conflict too.
Okay, so they have some.
Oh, well,
Hang on, please. So
I'm hanging, believe me,
right.
relentlessly, Judge Webster.
okay, Missy, did the Coopers have a conflict?
I believe so.
That's
I believe
right.
it was a yes, because it has to do with the victim in this case.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, I will reappoint Joseph Favre to represent you if he will take the case. He's not taking as many cases for us as he used to.
Okay, but Judge Webster, I do have something to reply to that.
Of course you have something to say, Karen. Oh, this should be good.
Go ahead.
Is that all right that I reply?
It is.
Well, you see, Joseph Favre held my case when I was transported, moved, housed in Elk County due to lots of conflict here in Greenwood County. So, therefore, Judge Webster, I'm not acting, I'm being so absolutely 200,000,000% positively correct when I say this, that the system has failed. But here I am. So if Joseph Favre is okay to take this case, we are gravy.
Okay, so he's not part of the system failure that concerns you then?
Okay. Why did you ask that question? I said he was part of the, I'm sorry.
Well, you started out telling me that the system had failed as a result of,
Okay. That's irrelevant, Judge
All right.
Webster. Do we want to go into this right now, or
Oh, please do. Please go into this right now.
this is first appearance? We're trying to get an attorney.
All right, well, I'm going to get you an attorney. If Mr. Favre can take your case and will take it, he will do so. If he's unable to take it, Missy will find another attorney for you, and we will let you know who that attorney will be.
I could give you a list of them and hire one myself if you would like.
If you can hire one yourself, yes, I'd like you to do that. I thought you were telling me you could not afford an attorney, and
I
that's why
can
we
do
were.
pretty much a lot of things at this point and juncture.
Well, I'm not going to appoint an attorney if you have the means to financially hire an attorney.
Well, who would you be appointing if Joseph Favre is unavailable, Judge Webster?
I don't know. There is a list that Missy uses.
How would you like to give me at least 3 names of those available attorneys, please? And thank you.
Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to give you a court date. Missy, when is that?
How about May 30th at 3:30?
Your next court date is May 30th at 3:30, and that is again a warrant to show cause why your probation should not be revoked. Now, Miss Reeves, the bond was set, I believe, at $383 cash because that is what your balance was. And I wanted you to have an opportunity to give that money to pay off your case and complete an obligation of your probation rather than just give it to a bondsman, as some folks will do. But you have the right to a professional surety if you want.
I don't want anything but a real meal at this point, Your Honor.
Oh, I bet you can't wait to get out to a restaurant so that you can complain to the manager.
I'm going to set her bond at $1,000 professional surety, cash or professional surety. But if she wants to pay off the $383, then I would accept
83?
that.
I got that.
$383. Then
I'm sorry,
would-
what? Wait, what? I'm just, okay. Got it.
$1,000 cash or surety bond. But if you want to pay the $383 in lieu of the bond, I would be willing to work that out. The Kansas statutes do make a provision for that. So you can pay your case rather than a bondsman. So bond is set, court date is set, attorneys to be obtained. What else can we do for you before I let you go here? You have anything else? Any questions that I need to answer?
I got nothing. I have
All right.
absolutely not a thing but the clothes on my back.
Okay.
Okay.
Ms. Gillette, anything further?
I doubt it. Maybe.
Oh, don't worry, folks. We'll be back for her next hearing. Have no doubt about that. Well, that was quite something. It's very clear that this lady is nuttier than a squirrel's breakfast. But this is the kind of person that people have to deal with every day. This is the kind of person that wastes so much resources every single day. All that time spent with the judge and prosecutor and all the lawyers, the list thereof that she wanted. Anyway, folks, let me know down below what you thought of this video. If you liked it, make sure and hit that thumbs up button, and we'll catch you in the next one. Sláinte. Now, since the dawn of Zoom court, we've seen some very interesting things take place. It's kind of opened it up for all of us to be able to have a look at what goes on in there. Usually you see some interesting stuff going on in the background, but one thing that's always caught my attention, and it's something I'm sure that you've all seen at some point or another, is people arriving in court for driving related offences while sitting in the driver's seat of a car.
I do feel the need to point out he is in a vehicle. Mr. Bannis, you know if your client's in the back seat or if he's in the driver's seat?
But he outsmarted everybody by switching to the other seat.
Judge, he's clearly in a different seat.
So can you imagine what it was like yesterday when I was watching Judge Middleton's court and he had 2 people in a row show up in the driver's seat of their cars while being dealt with for driving related offences which rendered them licenseless. Have a look at these and tell me what you think down below.
This is file number 22537 People versus Tyler Shelton. Mr. Shelton got charged with no insurance, unregistered vehicle, and no proof of insurance. In fact, I don't think they can convict you of no insurance and no proof of insurance both. You're in the driver's seat of a car now.
Yep.
Mr. Shelton got charged with no insurance, unregistered vehicle, and no proof of insurance. In fact, I don't think they can convict you of no insurance and no proof of insurance both. You're in the driver's seat of a car now.
Yep.
Let me tell you what the deal is. No insurance is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of not less than $200. Having an unregistered vehicle is a misdemeanor, a plain old common misdemeanor of 90 days and or $100. And then the no proof of insurance is $150, but you can't be convicted of both no insurance and no proof of insurance. No proof is a civil infraction. What I would like to do is have you have a pretrial with the prosecutor, but they're not available this morning. The county prosecutor isn't available to do the instant pretrials. Have you made any effort to get insurance and get the plate straightened out?
Yes, I have everything straightened out, and I believe my wife said at the time that I got pulled over that I did have insurance. I just didn't have proof.
All right. Now that's the difference. No insurance is a 1-year misdemeanor. That means you didn't have any insurance. Not having a slip on you is no proof. That's a civil infraction.
Yeah.
So you got the plate straightened out and have
Yes, sir.
valid insurance now?
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right. Really wish we could do a pretrial right now, but I don't have anybody to do it. I'm going to set a pretrial live. I apologize. For next Thursday, September 15th. I want you to bring your proof of insurance and your plate. This could save you a lot of money.
Okay.
So we'll try that at 8:30 here at the courthouse next Thursday morning. We're going back live. We've been doing everything Zoom, and Supreme Court just gave us some guidelines in August about how to do things, and many of the things are going back to live real court, where people come in and sit in the courtroom and I see them eye to eye. And so we're doing these. Plus, they actually want to see your documents. So next Thursday at 8:30 here at the courthouse. Do you still get your notice at Fulton Road?
Yep.
All right, we'll see you then next Thursday morning at 8:30 here at the court.
Alrighty.
Thank you. Good luck. Thank you for logging in on time.
Yep, thank you.
So that one wasn't too bad. It seems like there was a bit of a mix-up in paperwork or whatever. But this next lady had some stories to tell, and she really didn't seem to take it seriously at all. In fact, I got kind of Karen-y vibes off her. Let me know what you think, though. Maybe my Karen radar is all out of whack.
All right, Miss Kelly, could you turn on your mic?
Yep, it's on.
All right, let's talk about your case.
Sorry, I was late. I was bringing my kids to school.
Probably not a great idea to appear in court in the driver's seat of a vehicle and just openly admit to the court that you were driving your kids to school while you have no license, for which you're actually in court at this present moment. Way to go. You played yourself.
All right, well, you're here now. You didn't show up before. This is in order to show cause in an effort to not issue a bench warrant for your arrest. So let's talk about this one. This is file 221114OT. It's an ordinance, and it's a Constantine case. Maybe I can get Mr. Bush to join us. You got a ticket on June 15th of 2022 in Constantine for driving with a suspended or revoked license. And you're sitting in the driver's seat of a car right now, which is very common. People are driving suspended and they keep driving suspended.
I had to take my kids to school.
Well, there's no take your kids to school exception to your just suspended driver's license. So anyway, you got the ticket. You had no proof of insurance and no registration plate. You didn't show up for your arraignment. You called to say you were gonna come on June 21st, then you didn't show up on the 23rd.
Yeah, I was actually in the hospital. I had a kidney infection. I have all the proof for that.
Then you called on the 27th, and they rescheduled it for July 7th.
This chick just really isn't taking this seriously at all. Have a look at her face.
So you had an unpaid ticket, and you were going to pay it, and Howard said he would reduce it. So I said...
Yeah, I haven't paid it yet because I haven't had the extra money to pay it yet.
All right. Well, and you're still driving, so that's not a good combination. So then I set it for August 11th at 8:30, and you didn't show up for that. So instead of issuing a bench warrant for your arrest, I set the matter for show cause for today. So let's take a look.
I have all the proofs for my vehicle, though.
Well, you don't have a license.
Right, I'm working on that part.
Let's see what this is. 3. No proof of insurance. License was suspended. They told you that back in September of 21. Then you have for this case and another no proof of insurance. All right. All right, let me figure out where we are here. You got an unpaid ticket for no proof of insurance. You got another ticket for no proof of insurance on June 15th, the same time you got this driving suspended charge. You failed to appear in June. You failed to appear in August. Rather than issue a bench warrant, I did this show cause and you showed up today. You showed up late and you showed up behind the wheel of your car when you're still driving while you're suspended. And we've adjourned the matter for 3 months and you haven't paid anything on the tickets. So if you get this driving suspended, you're going to be hard suspended for a year. Mr. Bush, the Constantine Village attorney, was trying to work out some deal where he could reduce the charge that wouldn't suspend your license. But you haven't held up your end of the deal. A, you didn't show up twice. B, you haven't paid off the tickets. And C, you're still driving. So I'm not sure what to do here. Perhaps we'll try one more pre-trial.
I just need a little time to pay my ticket. I just couldn't pay right then because I had been off work for my health issues, and then I had school that had just started back up, and I had to pay my household bills.
Well, let me say this. It's been adjourned for 90 days from June 15th to September 8th. You haven't paid anything, and you're still driving. You're playing Russian roulette. You're going to get pulled over, and you're going to get another driving suspended ticket. I don't know whether you have insurance or not. You can't get insurance.
All right, I'm calling it. I was right from the outset. She is a Karen. Not only that, but she's a smug Karen. Now, I know I'm going to get heat for that in the comment section down below, because anytime I call someone smug, I get 55 million people explaining to me what smug actually is. It's subjective. I'm saying it. She's a smug Karen. She ain't taking this seriously at all. Let me know down below. Do you think she's a smug Karen?
Well, you can't get insurance if you don't have a valid license. So
I have insurance through Geico.
No, Karen, you don't have insurance, as the judge just said. You have to have a driver's license before your insurance is valid.
Well, it needs to be taken care of. You're driving your kids to school every day on a suspended driver's license. stop doing your hair. Try to pay attention to the fact that we're having a court case. I'm going to adjourn this for a pretrial live. We'll go into October 6th. That's about a month from now at 8:30. If you've paid off those tickets, Mr. Bush will dismiss the driving suspended charge and turn it into a charge that won't suspend your license. And that is a benefit. My fear is you're going to get pulled over again between now and then. So my strong advice is stop driving until you fix this. You can fix it. You can fix it by paying off the tickets. Some people can't. They don't have American citizenship and they can't get a license, or they've got 3 drunk driving charges, or they've got 4 DWLSs. You can fix it by paying the unpaid tickets. You are playing a dangerous game by continuing to drive, and you heard it here. If you come in on a driving suspended, you and I are going to have a discussion about this conversation we just had. All right, I will see you live here at the courthouse. Do you still have the Constantine Street address?
Yep.
All right. Well, you need to fix this and get out from under this. So I'll see you on October 6th. I want you to have that stuff paid off. You need to make it a priority.
Okay.
All right. You're good to go.
All right. Thank you.
I have a couple of no-shows here.
So driving while suspended. So no license. Driving without valid insurance, which wouldn't be valid anyway because of the fact that she doesn't have a license. She misses court multiple times and then turns up to court in the driver's seat of the car. And the first thing she says is that she dropped her kids to school. Not a good move. And then you're getting every amount of leniency possible. I can't really understand why, if I'm honest. She's clearly not taking this seriously. She's smiling and grinning and playing with her hair and drinking root beer the whole way through this thing. She doesn't care. Anyway, folks, that's all I can take of this for today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure and hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Consider hitting that thanks button down below. Loads of Irish Demon merch available with some special edition stuff for my upcoming trip to the US in a couple of weeks. So if you'd like to support that trip, consider grabbing some of that merch or dropping something in the PayPal tip jar. We'll catch you all in the next one, folks. Sláinte. You know when you think something just cannot get any worse, and then it does, and then it does again and again and again. Yeah, that's this video. Karen's in court for a whole bunch of stuff. She's got a mad history. She's clearly a little bit unhinged. She tries to tell the judge that she's not, and then she proves that that's not the case. That she is, in fact, as unhinged as a broken door. Anyway, let's get stuck straight in, shall we? You're definitely going to want to wait to the end of this one.
All right, Miss Adams, could you have Mr. Post come in, please? Or is he
He was
not?
doing a,
Okay. Huh?
he was doing a drug test on something.
Oh, okay, he might be busy right now. All right. So, Ms. Rice, why don't you come up and we'll take care of you. All right, this is in the matter that people of the state of Michigan versus Stephanie Lynn Rice, file numbers 21-20664 FH and 22-20716 FH. I have Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Ms. Rice, and I have Phoebe Meir appearing on behalf of the people. Darren Post is present, is our pretrial services coordinator who did administer another test today. So we are here on a couple things today. One thing we are here on is a sentencing on a contempt of court, as well as a pretrial conference on the underlying file. Ms. Rice is charged with aggravated stalking, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 5 years in prison and or a $10,000 fine. We were previously set for trial, and now we are again set for, we are set for trial for August 1 for a one-day trial at 9 a.m. So with regard to first the pretrial today, Mr. Malaro, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, I think if I understood Ms. Meir correctly, do you want me to do it or you want to do it? Okay, this mayor's gonna tell you what we're gonna do.
Yeah, so, well, maybe, I guess I'll have Mr. Millar correct me if I'm wrong, but, the people are in a bit of a, I guess, uncomfortable situation or bad situation in these cases. In preparation for the trial, I did meet with some of my, witnesses, the victims in this case. And they are quite frankly just fed up with this at this point. And I, obviously I could make them come in and testify, but at this point, I don't think they really want anything to do with this. So it does put me in a difficult situation. So what I am asking of the court is a bit unconventional, but I think their exasperation with this case and with Ms. Rice does have to do with obviously the time delays, the fact that we've been set for trial before, I think even a year ago, and Ms. Rice has, on a number of occasions failed to appear. She now has these new drug screens. So I guess what I'm asking for the court, again, it's unconventional, but that I will dismiss these felony charges as well as the PPO violations and ask the court to sentence Ms. Rice to the maximum on the contempt of court. I think that would accurately reflect the delays in this case and the fact that I do have to dismiss because of the delays in this case that were mostly at Ms. Rice's cause, just her, again, not appearing, these positive tests. And that's what I would ask of the court. I don't know if she would plead guilty to those contempts or if the court would find
She
her
already
guilty.
pled guilty to
Okay, perfect.
sentencing
Yeah.
today.
And Mr. Coast did advise me that the drug screen today was also positive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Millar, are you going to object to people dismissing the underlying file as well as PPO violations?
Judge, no objection to any of that. The only other issue is clarification. I did inform Ms. Mayor that I would be arguing the issue of how much time
On the contempt of court?
that the court give. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, very good. I will move to the issue of sentencing on the contempt of court.
So basically, she's up on a load of charges: harassment, stalking, breach of ROs, all of that kind of stuff. And she keeps doing it over and over and over again. The judge sits there and rattles off all these different things. And a lot of them are just simply her not turning up to court. And that's where the contempt charge came from, which is what she's here for today.
Are there new charges from this alleged incident that occurred the other day?
So there are new charges pending in district court that have already been filed. I think it's a trespass, but it might be just an assault.
I think it's an assault battery, Your Honor.
And then Mr. Coase advised us of an incident yesterday that may also have new charges. Those will obviously be dealt with in district court separately.
Okay.
And I, again, don't want to dismiss these charges, but I think at this point, it's best to move forward and not make Ms. Rice's ex and son testify if it's not necessary.
All right. So, with regard to sentencing today on the contempt court, are you ready to receive that, Mr. McLeod?
And Your Honor.
All right. Do people have any position on sentencing before the court proceeds?
Just like I said, I do think the maximum on the contempt of court would accurately reflect the delays in this case. Time is often in favor of the accused, and it certainly has worked in Ms. Rice's favor in this case. But that being said, I think the maximum on the contempt is more than fair, given her number of positive tests, including today being positive. And given, I could go back and see how many times this was delayed based on her non-appearance, but I don't have that figure right in front of me on both cases. And as well, that's not even counting the district court where she had failed to appear and was arrested in district court before it was found over. So thank you.
Mr. Millar, anything you'd like to say on behalf of Ms. Rice?
It would, Judge. Judge, I have represented Ms. Rice almost since the time I started the public defender's office. So I'm very well acquainted with Ms. Rice and all of her legal troubles. That being said, Judge, none of this is an excuse for her behavior, but 3-4 years ago, well, first of all, and I think this court's also well acquainted with Ms. Rice as well. Whatever happened prior to that is certainly played a great deal on her emotion, how she handles things at an emotional level. And I think as we all know, when we let emotions take control of our decision-making process, we usually make bad decisions. And Ms. Rice is engaged in counseling and therapy and will probably need it for a very long time to help her get past that area where she lets her emotions take control of her decision-making process. That being said, there are times where she is she has some good attributes. One is she's a good mother. And I know that this court could argue and not actually argue, but state that how can you be a good mother if you're using drugs that you shouldn't be using? And there's no debate with that. But by all accounts, through her CPS case, which I handled, and through today, her primary focus for the last 3 years has been her children. She has 2. She is the primary caregiver. The fact that CPS has closed the file on her shows that she's committed to continuing to be a good mother.
That was quite a while ago.
About 10 months, maybe. I think it was December, October. But she has continued to make strides to getting housing, getting the services she needs. Guardian, last time we were in on that case, had no issues with her as her parenting skills. Ms. Rice faces many challenges, Judge. You know, she was in district court yesterday and I was present for that hearing, and the judge, you know, spoke to her, and one of the things that's apparent is Ms. Rice has so much burdening her. Children, these pending cases, which I think if we can get them, if these are finally resolved today, will be a great help in getting her past that. Remove those stressors that I think will help her life settle down somewhat, and she can spend more time focusing on her children. I think she tends to put too much emphasis on things and uses that as a way to justify some of her behavior, such as not appearing in court, not attending certain things. And I certainly understand the state's point of view on this and their situation. But I think this is a good resolution. I think that the longer she's in jail, the more risk her children are. And so with all of that being said, Judge, and knowing Ms. Rice and knowing that she actually has a case, she has to be in district court on this assault charge this morning yet. But I told her to come here first, and she did. I'd ask the court to use its wisdom and fashion the most appropriate and lenient sentence as to any jail time as it possibly can. That would be our request on Ms. Rice's behalf.
Ms. Rice, is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
Yeah.
This is going to be good. And then it gets gooder and even gooder.
Okay, I need you to go stand at the podium for me.
3 years ago, when Eleanor was born at Toledo Children's Hospital, her meconium came back with methamphetamine in it. And I had not touched it. I had never touched it. And so they did a very extensive and intrusive test through ProMedica. Eleanor had zero withdrawal, zero. They monitored her for 6 hours. She had zero withdrawals. Not one withdrawal did she have. None. Because I wasn't using that drug, but the drugs that I take through my Dr. Noble. And Dr. Noble told me and my case manager this in her office. They cause a false positive. When Memphis was born, his meconium came back with the same exact test results, but they didn't even go through what they went through. They didn't call CPS. CPS never got called because they knew that it was verbatim the same exact as Eleanor's. My kids will lose everything, and I have worked really hard to get where we're at. We will lose it all. When I went to jail this last time, I lost my daycare for my kids, which is why I had to bring them to court. I reapplied. I started all over. I started all over all of my stuff again. This thing downstairs that happened, I need to be able to fight that because it's a lie. I didn't put my hands on her. She put her hands on me and my kids.
All right, so ma'am, I don't want you to talk about any pending cases because everything you say can be used against you because this is a court record. All right, so don't talk about events that occurred on new cases. Say that for your parents.
I know that my kids will be in foster care if I go to jail. I don't have anybody to watch them. Their dad has not seen them in over 2 months. I've climbed out of my trenches. I've climbed out of them by myself. I've worked by myself with them in tow, and we need each other, and they need me, and I'm not using.
So that whole story was about as much use as the letter G in lasagna. I'm sure the judge will let her walk, and even if she doesn't, I'm sure this lady's gonna have a perfectly reasonable response to that. Or maybe not.
Oh. Mr. Coast, you administered a test today to her, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And did she test positive for anything?
Tested positive for the THC, amphetamines, and also methamphetamines.
Okay. Now we know she's on Adderall, but her levels were extremely high, so that would be more than it would cause a positive test.
And to her previous test was a swab that was actually sent to the lab. I did talk to the lab. They said the only thing that will make methamphetamine turn positive is methamphetamine. Going through a false positive because of the Adderall.
True. All right, so Ms. Rice, now I realized that you completed a CPS case, you had your children placed in your care, and the case was closed in October. But what I will tell you, what I've seen is you go downhill since then. I'm talking now, not you. So on April 17th of 2023, there was a motion affidavit and bench warrant because you failed to call in to pretrial services coordinator. They're imposed on a daily basis. There were no call-ins from 4/10 of 23 to today. It's date on April 17th. Let's see. I have a drug screen collected April 6th of 23 that shows a positive test for methamphetamine. So then, let's see, we'll go to the next one. On May 16th of 2023, you failed to appear for warrant on May 16th of 2023. Issued a bench warrant. Let's see, this one was filed April 18th. Try to call in. Let's see. Appear. Bench warrant arraignment. I have a failure to appear for bench warrant arraignment on May 16, signed by me on May 16. I have pretrial release order. You comply with CMH recommendations and medications. We've got multiple tests that were sent in on a swab showing your levels are dangerously high. So, Ms. Rice, I'm talking. So, Ms. Rice, I have great concerns about your mental health, your physical health, and your just defiance from day one of the court's orders, and also a downhill spiral that I'm seeing in your behavior. Court's orders are in place, and while I have great sympathy for your trials and tribulations, I also feel that you have taken advantage of that to some extent, and trying to manipulate the court. But based on just the overwhelming issues I've had for you, with you and your failure to comply with court orders, I think you got off very lucky today.
She actually did get off really, really lucky. Maybe her luck's going to continue. And as I said, the judge will probably let her walk straight out the door back to her normal life. And if not, she'll have a perfectly reasonable response. But I wouldn't put my house on it.
Because the charges are being dismissed, but I am going to sentence you to court or to jail for 93 days.
Please don't do my kids in your foster care. Please
Well,
please,
get
Judge.
credit for any time you've already served.
Can you please
You're all
suspend
set.
it? Give me
Thank
a
you.
try, please,
No.
Judge. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. My kids are gonna be in foster care. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I can't do 93 jail. Can I pay? Please, can I bond out? Can I
No,
pay?
you're
I
gonna
can't do this, please.
get, you're gonna get credit.
Please. This is why I don't come.
You're gonna get credit.
Let me go, please. No. Please let me go. Okay, but I can't breathe. I can't breathe this way. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I need some water. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Please, can I have some water? I can't breathe. No, I can't walk. I can't walk. No, I can't. I can't walk like this. I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't talk to me like that. I can't do it. I can't breathe.
You're not ready.
I'll take it off.
But I've heard that for 4 years. My kids have been going to
3 years. Every time we're in court, I hear that.
Well, that seemed like a perfectly reasonable response to show a judge that you're absolutely definitely not crazy. It seems to me like maybe she didn't have enough coffee today, unlike me who's having it from this lovely Irish Demon mug, which you can get down below. Completely shameful plug. Because this video is probably going to get demonetized, but that's okay, because this was a lot of fun. I've actually got a whole load of new Irish Demon merch that you can check out in the link down below as well. Now, cards on the table. This is all her own fault. She has nobody else to thank for this but herself. However, as a human being who has compassion, I do feel sorry for her. Obviously, she's got problems. Obviously, she's finding it hard to cope, but she simply isn't putting her kids first. It's as simple as that. So she has nobody else to blame but herself. I really do hope she gets the help that she very obviously needs. Screaming and bawling like a scalded cat is not going to get you anywhere, except into the lockup a bit quicker. Anyway, lads and lassies, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed the madness. We'll catch you in the next one. Sláinte. Good morning, everybody. The Irish Demon back with another video. Now, today we got a young lady in court who just doesn't seem to be able to stay out of trouble. She's in there for one matter, and while she's there, she gets arraigned for another matter. And she's got a lot to say about it in a couple different languages. And on top of that, she has some very interesting words to say about our beloved judge. So let's have a watch. And who are you wearing today? Well, I'm wearing Demon Chic. That's right, lads and lassies. I finally got my shirt made for myself. And you can get one just like this in the link down below. I'll be sure to stay tuned till the end of this video because we have an incredible special guest.
In court does call the case of the People versus Kelly Messenger. I'm sorry.
That's me, Kelly Messenger, right here, English.
Okay, if you can speak English, let's do that. Counsel, please state your appearances.
Ashley Londy standing in for Caitlin Kirby for the people.
Michael Gaddy, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Ms. Messenger, Your Honor. Ms. Messenger, could you state your name, please?
Kelly Messenger.
All right. Before we begin, I do have to arraign Ms. Messenger on an additional complaint. All right. Ms. Messenger, you have a new case before the court. The new case alleges two charges. It alleges that on November 19th, 2021 at the Huron Valley Correctional Facility that you did, count one alleges that you did assault a prison employee. Do you understand the nature of that charge, ma'am?
I don't understand the nature, but I hear what you're saying, though.
All right, let me ask it this way. You understand that when I say assault on a prison employee, you understand what you're charged with? I'm not asking whether you did it.
I do understand.
Why do I get the feeling like this lady's going to try to fight her case right here in her arraignment hearing? I don't understand, but I get what you're saying.
All right. And that involves a Ashley McFarland, that on count one. That's a felony punishable by up to 5 years incarceration and or a $2,500 fine plus court costs. Do you understand the maximum penalties?
Yes, I do understand.
All right. Count two is the same charge alleged to have occurred on the same date involving an employee of the facility of Leisha Terrell. Do you understand that, ma'am?
I didn't hear the name.
Leisha Terrell.
Leisha Terrible?
Ah, yes, Miss Leisha Terrible. Great-great-great-great-granddaughter of Ivan the.
Yes.
See, nope. Not, I cannot accept that.
Okay,
There's no,
ma'am. I'm not, ma'am. I'm not asking you whether or not you did it. I'm asking whether or not you understand that you're charged with an assault on that person.
that name is unacceptable. There's nobody in my facility by that name.
Oh, well, that settles that then. I guess all charges drop because you say there's nobody there in that facility by that name.
Okay, that might be a defense to this, but do you understand that that's what you're charged with?
All right, I understand.
Okay, do you understand that? Okay.
Yes, I do.
And you understand that on that count too, it carries the same penalties I just told you, which is 5 years, $2,500 fine plus court costs. You understand that?
Yeah, I understand. I'm done tripping.
Okay.
I'm just in a foreign mood.
Okay.
Okay, that's my language. So.
Oh, great. She's done tripping. Yeah. Nah. She trips more than a guy on mushrooms with his laces open. Now, just to give you a brief bit of background about this lady, Kelly Messenger was a lady of the night, and she was arrested on charges of, how can I put it, attempted permanent nap time of a gentleman after she borrowed his car, the hood of which he clung onto as she continued to drive at high speed. So yeah, there's that.
My native tongue, okay? Now look, how many years does it carry? That's all I want to know.
It carries up to 5 years.
Okay, both of them 5 years?
Both charges are the same charges, just different people. Maximum penalty on each one of those charges is up to 5 years.
Yeah, look, I heard about the incident, okay?
Okay. I don't want you, Miss Messenger, I don't want you saying anything about the incident. I just need to know what that you understand what you're charged with and what the maximum penalties are.
I know, but it wasn't me.
Okay,
I heard about
and that may be a defense. I just need to make sure you understand what you're charged with, what the people are saying you did.
Yeah, I hear you.
Got it? Okay. Now, my first question to you is, do you want to be represented by an attorney?
Yes.
This is a public defender case. All yours, Mr. Gady.
Yes, Your Honor. Waive further reading, stand mute to the charges. Mike Gaddy for Miss Messenger.
All right. Defendant having waived formal reading, pleading not guilty, court will let that plea. You also waive the time requirements, Mr. Gaddy.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, so now that I've arraigned her on that charge, counsel, what are we doing with this case? I'm assuming you want them to carry along with the other cases.
That's correct, Your Honor. I'd ask the court to set this for a probable cause conference. Since we were here last time on Ms. Messenger's first probable conference, PCC on the other two matters, I have had a chance to speak with Ms. Messenger and APA Kirby, this might throw a wrinkle into things. I'd ask the court to adjourn those matters and set them for the same time as these other probable cause conferences.
How dare they waste this lovely lady's time with all of her multiple arraignments, crossing over each other and causing all this difficulty for her. It's almost as if she did something wrong.
All right. You want to hear these on the 21st, or you want more time than that?
Maybe a week later than that, Judge.
I'm sorry?
Maybe on the 28th, if that's available.
I have the 26th. The 28th is not available. I have it.
Now, while the taxpayer-funded judge is talking to the taxpayer-funded lawyer for this lady who is sitting in a taxpayer-funded jail, she decides to interrupt this important business and waste even more time and taxpayers' money. But what she says is without a doubt one of the most bizarre things that I've ever heard in court, and that is saying something.
Tuesday.
Now, I want to know who this black Bin Laden is over here. Like, some of these people in this courtroom don't make sense.
Now let's just listen to that again.
Tuesday.
Now, I want to know who this black Bin Laden is over here.
Black Bin Laden. Why?
It's a black Osama Bin Laden right here. Now, who are these people in my courtroom?
Okay, first of all, it's not your courtroom, it's mine.
Well, I'm
And
here, so it's mine for the time being.
I'm the one that sent the invitation. All right. Mr. Gaddy, what date would you like?
Why don't we do the first date in August, Judge?
August 4th. Okay.
Thank you, Aaron.
I will adjourn the probable cause conferences till August 4th, 2022, 9 a.m. Bond on those matters will continue. On the new case, I will set her probable cause conference on August 4th, 2022 at 9 a.m. with a preliminary examination to follow. As to the defendant's bond, I will set the defendant's bond $10,000. I'll give a 10% privilege on that. She's not really going anywhere.
No, I think 2030, Judge.
Pardon?
I think 2030 according to Otis.
I don't.
She says, but it seems like the judge is saying, You might not have heard it there, but it seemed like she asked for bond. Why can't I get bond? I wonder why. Is it for the fact that you can't keep your hands to yourself? Be that stealing or thumping people?
What is he telling me?
I'm having trouble hearing.
Yeah, mute her. All right. I've set it for August 4th.
Imagine that. She let her attitude get the better of her, and now she's looking down the barrel of a minimum of 10 years because she's got a whole load of other charges as well. Now, I can't make up my mind what I think about this lady, so I'm going to hand it over to the Honourable Judge Demon for his final remarks. All rise for the Honourable Judge Demon. Please be seated. Judge Demon in the house. Now, having assessed all the evidence, I find that the defendant in this case is so stupid that she couldn't empty water out of a boot if the instructions were written on the bottom. But alas, that is not the subject of this assize. And so to the matter at hand, I shall cut, as it were, to the chase. I find the defendant guilty of being an absolute feckless gobshite. Alright, we done? Taco time, baby. Also, somebody might want to check this table. I really did a number on it. And if any of you would like to check out Judge Demon in the future, don't worry, I will be back. And I'll be holding live court. How about that? That's going to be coming up real soon, so stay tuned for that because it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. And I hope to get a load of you involved. It's going to be great. Good afternoon, everybody. The Irish Demon back again. Today we got a really interesting video for you. This lady in court, little bit of a Karen, I gotta tell you, decides to go missing from dealing with this situation for 7 whole years and then acts as if the whole world owes her a favor. But this judge is not messing around and he gets big mad.
What is your name?
Danelle Marie Crowell.
Spell that for my court recorder.
DenelleMariecrowell.
Okay. Somebody from the city attorney's office is signing a Nolly Cross. I don't even know who this person is. Linda, who is Brian Hamilton? Who is Brian Hamilton?
Campbell?
No, from the city attorney's office, I guess.
You want me to go get him?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry to be wasting your time this morning, Your Honor.
Well, where have you been for the last, I don't know, 7 years?
Between Michigan and Mississippi with my 5 children.
So why weren't these matters addressed by you?
I didn't have an income. I'm disabled with 5 children by myself. So I'm not financially able to do them kind of things. I got pulled over taking my autistic kids to school. They missed the bus, and their education is really important. Without that, I would have milestone setbacks like you wouldn't believe. So I took them to school, not having a license that morning, lost my car, and got the tickets.
Well, let me ask you this question. How is it that you have a car without having a driver's license?
I was blessed.
You were what?
I was blessed. Someone blessed me with it.
Yeah, but that means you have no insurance.
No, I have insurance, plates, tags, and all of that on my vehicle, but I have someone else drive it.
Well, but here's the problem, man. Most insurance companies have a clause in their policy that says we don't have to cover anything if there's not a validly licensed driver behind the wheel. So for all intents and purposes, you don't have insurance. So while you're talking about, taking your kids around.
That was a no-no, yes, I am aware.
That's not, I mean, that seems rather, that doesn't seem like the responsible thing to be doing.
That's why I changed around. I got myself out of trouble. I've been trying to clean up my ways, not doing the same mistakes I've made in the past.
No, but you're acting as though you deserve, a pass for this.
No, that's the wrong impression. I am totally apologize if that's what you got.
Oh yeah, that seems like a pretty legit apology right there. To quote Borat, not.
When I got the ticket,
okay,
I had the car blessed to me because I was in a domestic violence situation. I just got out of the Y. I was trying to keep away from this individual. That was supposed to be something I was working on to get to my own, and instead I didn't ever get financially set to do so. It went to impound. I never got it back.
Okay. Who are you?
Brian Hamilton.
Have we met?
Yes, like once or twice, I believe.
When did we meet?
I think it was a couple weeks.
Ma'am.
Yes.
How did this come to light most recently?
Because I've been trying to seriously every little thing in my life, right down to my credit report. I've been trying.
No. You're not answering my question. I don't really, that's not what I'm asking you.
What was the question that I missed?
That is not what I'm asking you. You apparently haven't been seen on this case. Let me look here.
Oh, in a long time, like 7 years, maybe.
And do you think that's something to be proud of? Just bold as brass. Yeah, it's been like 7 years, no big deal. And then you expect the court to do you favors.
Because I tried to save up money to get my license, and they told me I have tickets.
The last time you were here was for a pretrial. Oh, no, you appeared on June 8th. And it got set for a pretrial.
Before
so
Christmas.
How is it that you happened to, what led to you being here on June 8th?
I've been coming in and the court dates kept getting rescheduled. I came in since before Christmas. I was trying to seriously get a license, get my stuff situated. My kids are autistic, Your Honor. And in order for me to take care of them financially and properly as they get older, I have to have my ducks in a row. My ducks are a little messy. So I started at the very beginning and I started working my way through, and that had to lead to taking care of legal ticket so that I can get a license and so on and so forth, because I can't keep relying on everybody else to drive me around.
I gotcha. So it's everybody else's fault. Oh, they kept moving the court date. What, for 7 years?
Ma'am.
Yes.
Pay a whole lot of money. You pay a whole lot of money in taxes in this community. And there's a millage every few years. for the MTA. They have a bus system that goes all over the city.
I don't live out there, Your Honor.
And where do you live?
I'm out here in Saginaw. I don't even live in Flint.
Well, they have stars in Saginaw, man. Have you heard of that?
No.
You've never heard of it?
No.
You've never heard of stars?
No.
Well, maybe that's the problem. Ma'am,
Yes.
stars is the name for the bus system in Saginaw County.
Oh, no, I would have no idea what that was then.
So you're going to sit there and tell us that your prime concern is transport for your autistic children. Now, I definitely do not envy your situation. Being a single mother with 4 autistic children sounds incredibly challenging. But with all that said, if the reason you're in court in the first place is from trying to transport them illegally, then surely you would look at all of the options that were legal for you to do so. And if one of those options in particular was a free bus, I can't understand why you would not have looked into that. But I'm sure you'll have plenty of excuses.
I see. So in other words, what you're telling me is you never heard of the bus system in Saginaw County. I don't live there, and I've heard it.
I live out here, but I don't know.
How long have you lived in Saginaw County? How long have you lived in Saginaw?
I've been at this house since April, May, the end of May, maybe.
Well, just for your information, STARS stands for Saginaw Transit Authority Regional Services.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, I can't believe you've been there since April and haven't heard of the bus system up there.
I don't go too much of any place other than Sam's Club or Walmart for groceries.
You just contradicted yourself. You talk about you got to take your kids around. Listen, I'm not going to shilly-shally around with you.
I'm not.
Okay? I'm not signing this right now. You call the bus system up there, 989-907-4000. You find out if they have a dial-a-ride system, and then you get a bus pass. And then I'll schedule this for, what's today? The 11th? I'm going to schedule this for a week. I'm going to schedule this for a week from now. And you're going to show me that you've done that, because I'm not going to listen to you with your excuses when you won't even take, reasonable actions to try to make sure you're not in this situation again.
I don't understand what you mean reasonable.
That's simple.
My son's dad drives me to the store when I need to go. What is that not reasonable, Your Honor? I chose not to drive because I don't want to.
You know what? Don't argue with me. If you want to argue with me, that's fine. We'll set it for trial. We'll see if the cops show, and then it'll get dismissed if the cops don't show up. You want to do that?
I'm confused.
Or do you want to try to do something to help yourself that you claim you want to get yourself together?
Yeah, I was just about to ask if you could repeat the phone number for me, but you're getting loud and I don't know why.
Look it up yourself.
I think it's abundantly clear to absolutely anybody watching this. The judge is not getting angry with her. He's getting frustrated with this situation. He's trying to help her. And I think we can all agree that sometimes the best way to help somebody is to help them help themselves. So by trying to give her this opportunity to go and get her situation sorted out, he is actually helping her to try to teach her a lesson about how to look after herself and her family. But all she knows to do is to just get defensive. And I don't necessarily blame her. I'm sure she has had a very difficult life. But sometimes you just got to realize that people can't always do everything for you.
Take some positive action, like you say, and look it up. STARS. On Johnson Street, downtown Saginaw. You seriously have not seen the city buses running around Saginaw? You're telling me that?
I don't even have a social outlet with people. I don't like to go out. Why is that hard to believe?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess when you live in a town that has a bus system, that's had a bus system for 40 years, and there's buses up and down the streets, on the main streets through the town, I guess they would be noticeable, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't spend a lot of, I haven't been to Saginaw in quite a while, so I can't say.
Outside that often.
I can't say how often the buses run up there, huh?
I don't make it a point to be out in the world like that, Your Honor. I make it a point to go do what needs to be done and get home, and that's that. I'm not an outside type person. I don't like doing all that extra stuff. There's no need for it.
I don't know what that means, ma'am. I don't even know what that means. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not an outdoors person. What does that mean in terms of, ma'am, listen, you need to, ma'am, you need to kind of quit right now, because you ever heard of that expression, quit while you're ahead?
Well, I don't know why you're getting mad at me.
I'm not getting mad at you. I'm holding you accountable. And maybe somebody needs to do that. And maybe somebody needs to do that, because you've given me every excuse in the world. So if you've not heard the expression, quit while you're ahead, you should quit, because you're in the opposite direction. We'll see you next Monday on Zoom. Okay, what's next?
So there we have it, folks. Now, this is a pretty tough situation. Yes, this lady definitely has a very difficult life. And again, I don't envy her situation. But she left this go for 7 years and then wonders why the judge is getting a little bit frustrated when she keeps coming up with excuses. If you want to get things resolved, then just put your hand up, take the heat, and move on and get your life back on track. I wish her and her children all the very best with that, and I really mean that. But the attitude has to change. This is a waste of court resources. This is a waste of taxpayers' money that could be put into helping somebody like this. But unfortunately, the whole woe is me attitude, as tough as things are, has to stop. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure and hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Sláinte. Good afternoon, everybody. The Irish Demon back with another video. We got this really interesting restraining orders hearing here today. Now, this one kind of made me feel a bit uneasy. We got a lady here looking for a restraining order against her downstairs neighbor for some alleged aggressive activity that he had done towards her. But then she says something really interesting that makes me think that a lot of this is orchestrated, or at the very least being used to her advantage. So I would absolutely love to hear what you think down below. Let's get stuck straight in.
You were in harm, in potential harm.
Absolutely.
All right. And since then, you said you've been able to avoid him. He lives across the hall.
Yes.
So what's happened since? Anything?
Well, honestly, I look out my peephole before I even leave my door to make sure that he's not there. I lock my door as fast as I can. These incidents are not just affecting me. My daughter lives at home with me, and she is also experiencing a lot of distress.
Is she an adult?
She is an adult. She just turned 18 in May.
Okay, and she resides with you?
Yes.
All right. Has there been anything to know from your that you witnessed as to your daughter, Mr. Gerald?
No.
Okay.
Thankfully.
All right. And I'm just seeing if there's any other questions before I just kind of ask you to. All right. So I've asked a lot of questions here. Kind of interrupted you to get those answers. I'll let you. Is there anything else you want to say or clarify or talk about?
I am sort of concerned that if this year order is not approved, that he will return with this behavior and it will be escalated even further. After the threats that he made, he threatened to push me down the stairs, said that he was going to beat the shit out of me, he was going to beat my ass, came across the hall like this with his fist raised.
No, I didn't.
And I said, do it, effing hit me.
No, you didn't.
So I know that that probably was not helpful in the situation.
Why did you say that?
Because I wanted to send him to jail for assault. If he hit me, I knew that he'd go to jail for sure.
Yep.
What you're saying is you tried to goad the person that you claim you're absolutely terrified of, so much so that you need a restraining order against them to hit you so that you could get them sent to jail. Seems a bit vexatious to me.
Okay. But at that moment, What did you think he was gonna do with his raised fist?
Well,
Or
I
what
wasn't
you're
sure
afraid
what
of?
he was going to do, but a part of me was hoping that he would hit me.
So you were afraid that he was gonna hit you?
I was afraid that he was going to hit me, but also a part of me was thinking if he hits me, then I can send him to jail for assault and he won't get out.
Do you hear this?
Mr. Gerald, would you mute your microphone, please? I'll come to you. Don't want you to interrupt. Looking at some things here to see if I have any further questions.
We put a camera up, sort of for our safety. We sleep with the couch up against the door. We got mace, we got tasers. These incidents were unprovoked. I did play a part in them. There were things that I shouldn't have said. I did make a comment about his mother that I should not have said.
On the 14th and 19th?
On the 19th, when he said, you're top heavy, you're gonna go down the stairs hard. And I said, I'm top heavy, your mom loves these big titties.
Mother of God. Oh. So a neighborly dispute between this guy and, I'm just going to say it, she seems like a bit of a Karen to me. If you think differently, let me know. But that neighborly dispute turns into this. Her trying to get him to hit her so that he'll get sent to jail. That's not what ROs are for, man.
So I definitely should not have said anything like that, but I felt really, I don't really know how to describe the feeling. I felt violated. I didn't understand why he was so angry with me when all of the interactions that we had were, I feel neighborly. Hi, how you doing? You know, I mean, he was taking out my garbage. I'd leave my garbage outside my door and it would just be gone. And he had taken it out. And I was like, that was amazing. So I just don't understand what changed. But I do acknowledge that I definitely played a part in the interaction. There are things that I shouldn't have said.
But let me ask you, did you on the 14th initiate the events?
No, the neighbor and I were not, we didn't even acknowledge him when he was coming up the stairs. We were just chatting with each other and it was completely unprovoked.
All right. Okay, so on the 14th, let me get back to that. Okay, and so 14th, you're just there, he's coming up the stairs humming and then assaults you with ugly words.
Yes.
Okay. And then it goes from there and you said a few things back that you regret.
Yes, and then that's when he spit at us from the floor above us, which he wouldn't have been able to spit on us just because the way that the floor is, like you go up a flight of stairs and then there's a landing, but we're sort of tucked into the basement apartment. And then he said, suck my dick, and I said, what dick? So that's when he went into his apartment.
Okay.
Now, I'm not trying to necessarily lessen any fears that this lady may have, but it seems to me from her story that she didn't really have a lot of fear for him if she was willing to abuse him, his mom, and his gentleman's region. Just seems like she's trying to get an RO just to kind of stick it to him, but I might be totally wrong.
Some name calling and ugly words back and forth. All right. All right. So I'm going to turn to Mr. Gerald. Anything else?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. So Mr. Gerald, why don't you unmute and respond to the allegations here so I can make a better decision here.
Ma'am, a majority of what she is saying, she's making up, and she's just adding more and more than what was actually even happened. So to start with, I got into the back and forth with the downstairs neighbor, Christopher Brown, and it ended with her saying, "You won't like what I got planned for you." I shut the door and I locked it. And then I had my cerebral,
Wait,
the
Mr.
Christopher Brown.
Okay, so you got into it, that was on the 14th, you think?
And yes, and that was unprovoked. I didn't do anything. You know, I just went up to my apartment. I never had even stopped walking up to my apartment, didn't stop for a second. I went straight up to my door and locked it. And we were having a back and forth on my way up there. I shut it and locked it after she said, you won't like what I got planned for you. And then I go to try to finish up some dishes that I left in my sink from that morning before my cerebral appointment with my prescriber and therapist. And so I hear screaming right outside my door, thinking that the first floor neighbor had came up to my floor. And I'm just like, why is she coming up here? So I open the door and I leave my hand on my door. I never even left the entryway of my apartment because I have a cat who would like to get out if I left the door open. So I'm standing there blocking the way. I never even left my hand on the door, never left the entryway. And I just see her screaming at me. And I said, go back in your apartment. This is over.
Her being Ms. Bell?
Yes, Miss Bell. She was
All right.
screaming at me at the top of her
That
lungs.
day, or was we talking about a different
This
day?
is the 19th, the day that I got arrested.
All right.
So she's just screaming at me. And I tell her, go back in your apartment. This is over. I don't want anything to do with this. And she said, don't tell me what to do. She screamed it, actually. And then I yell back at her, go back in your apartment. And then she says, what are you going to do about it? Here's where I feel the worst about what I said, because I had never threatened her. I made a joke. I said, you're 50 and top heavy. All I'd have to do is tip you over. I said that as a joke. And then she says to me, you think I'm 50? And then just starts laughing like a crazy person. And then I said, you're younger. That's even worse.
You're going to need some ice for that burn, lady, because that's pretty funny.
And then she says, do you want me to get my... And I didn't hear what she said, so I thought she said boyfriend or something. She turns around, yells a name, and I shut the door. I lock it, and then I hear her yell through my door. That's what I thought. And then I hear her laughing down toward the downstairs neighbor, Christopher Brown, laughing and making fun of me. And then 25 minutes later, after my prescriber appointment, I hear knocking on my door. It's the police, and he said that I had threatened to push her down the stairs. I had never said push. I had never threatened to push her down the stairs. I had never threatened to push her. I said the word tip, and I said all I'd have to do. I never immediately threatened her, and I've never threatened her. Never, none of that stuff. I have character references from my job, from my mom, my girlfriend of 5+ years, my brother, previous roommates, and previous landlords. They're just lying and trying to ruin my life. She has it out for me. And as for the incident on the 14th, that never even happened. Like, why wouldn't she call the police if I spit on her? It's just, she's causing so much panic in my life right now. And then I have video evidence of Christopher Brown's boyfriend walking around with a bat outside of my window. I have video evidence of them smoking outside of my window. I have video evidence of them parking in my spot. They're the ones harassing, intimidating, and terrorizing me and making it uncomfortable for me to live here. It's a lot, and I don't know what to do at this point because I've never threatened these ladies. All the things they're saying I did, it's not true.
So you sent in a photograph.
Yes, she says I kicked her door twice. If you look at the door, there's no dents on her door.
So
that was from last Thursday.
Who took this picture?
I did last Thursday, right after I received the served paperwork, and it said I had kicked her door twice. And I said, that's bullshit. I opened my door and I took a picture of her door. There's no dents in her door. Not a single one.
A picture of whose door?
Jessica Bell's, J6.
And you took it on Thursday.
A week after the incident.
Thursday would have been the 28th?
Yep.
Okay, and...
Do you see any dents in her door?
All right,
so twice. There's white spots, but there's a bunch of those.
You didn't kick the door.
Never kicked her door. She's the one who was screaming at my door, which is why I opened it in the first place.
Okay. All right. So let me piece this together from your point of view and from what I read in this petition so I can ask some questions.
If I had spit on her, why didn't she call the police?
All right.
She said she wanted to send me to jail for assault because she knew it would work. I had never raised my fist to her. I had never even left my apartment. I had my hand on my door the whole time, concerned about my cat getting out. She's the one thing in this world that matters to me, and I will not let her get out. I did not leave my apartment.
Trash talking each other with ugly words and...
Yeah, I never left my apartment. She's lying and adding on more and trying to make it seem like I'm some criminal, and I'm not. You can look at my record if you want.
Guys, I'm probably going to get some heat for this, but I do believe the guy. He's like straight up, this is what happened. Yeah, I said that. Who cares? It was a joke. I mocked her for being a bit top heavy. I don't know. Let me know what you think, though. Maybe I'm completely off the mark here. I'm not trying to be, but maybe.
So since then, since I guess Olympia Police Department arrested you since the 19th, when kind of things came to a head in the mind of Ms. Bell, since then, tell me what's been going on from your
Well,
point of
I
view?
had to set up a camera of my own because I felt like they were just ganging up on me. And on the camera, I got video evidence of Christopher Brown's boyfriend walking around with a bat, and I'm pretty sure he's intoxicated. I have video evidence of them smoking cigarettes.
Says to Ms. Bell, we're going to hear that other case next in a couple of weeks or sometime. I can't remember when
Okay.
we said, but as to Ms. Bell,
Yeah, she's making up 99% of it.
okay,
I
so
did call
anything,
her top heavy, and I said she's 50, and I said all I'd have to do is tip you over, to her saying, "What are you gonna do?" I never threatened her. I said that as a joke, and then she said, "You think I'm 50?" Started laughing, and I said, "You're younger. That's even worse." And then she threatened to get someone on me. That's when I shut it, locked the door, and I hear her and the downstairs neighbor laughing together and making fun of me. 25 minutes later, that's when police show up.
okay, so since then, since the 19th, anything as to Ms. Bell?
No, nothing. I've honestly never had any problems with her. And like she said, like I would take out her garbage for her. And like one time she took out mine and I'm pretty sure it exploded on her and she just left it out in front of the building. So I really appreciate that.
So how do you avoid each other if you live across?
I
the
honestly switched up my work schedule just to avoid them altogether. I don't get home till 3 o'clock in the morning most nights. And then I already have a lease secured in Florida where we've paid the down deposit, the first month's rent. We're just waiting for the move date to come. All I'm asking is, do you see any dents in her door? Because that's how she said I started it, and there's no dents in her door.
And so you're saying that, looking back at the picture again, I see a gray door. I see some white scuff marks. I don't know what they are at the bottom.
But she said I left a dent in the door. I don't see a dent.
Okay. And wonder, are we able to somehow put that on the big screen? Talking to my clerk here. Do you think? No.
We might be able to, but.
I'd honestly just like for them to leave me alone.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to just print that picture so that Ms. Bell can look at it as well. Since it just came in and that's only fair. So in just one moment while we get that done. All right. So Mr. Gerald, anything else?
I've also walked out to my car. I would park it one night and then I'd walk out to my car the next morning and I found new dents in it. I've also found a yogurt type substance thrown on it. And I've also found sticky liquids poured all over my car.
Let me step back to the car. When was that?
This is just since I've been living here over the past like 6 months. And I believe it was Christopher Brown, but I mean, I don't know. It could have been her too, because she parks right next to me. It's just,
Okay.
I've walked out to my car to find it pretty much vandalized. Like they're the ones harassing me and making it super
Did you
uncomfortable.
contact police about that if you thought it was Ms. Bell?
Well, I can't really prove it was her, but I'm pretty sure it was either her or Christopher,
Okay. Why do you think that?
because they have it out for me. Christopher has it out for me, and her and Jessica are friends, which is why they're cooperating and getting against me. I'm feeling ganged up against right now. I didn't do any of the things they're saying. They're just trying to ruin my life. And you heard her say that. She thought she could send me to jail.
And so then there is something else with your car?
Yeah, I've found dents on it. There was like a yogurt type substance all over it one day when I walked out to it. And then like a couple weeks later, I found like a soda type substance poured all over it and pretty much messed up my paint job. They're just terrorizing me.
Right. But you're not certain, you didn't see it happen and
Yeah,
you don't
I'm
have
not certain, but I believe it was them. I'd like for them to just leave me alone so I can live my life. They're the ones harassing me and just trying to ruin my life. I've actually had to start upping my prescription medication just because of how much anxiety and stress it's putting on my life.
And those two things you didn't report to law enforcement, or did you?
I never reported the car things because there's no solid proof, you know?
Okay.
I could take a picture, but it can't put someone at the crime.
Right. All right. Okay. So looking at this door, you say you took that picture on Thursday, the 28th.
Week after the incident.
This will be 9-10 days after the event. as to just, I'm going to turn to Ms. Bell, as to that alone, that picture that you had some opportunity to look at and the court is able to look at, anything, is that your door?
As far as I know, yes, it's my
Okay.
door.
And you said that there was a dent in your door on the 19th.
Yes.
Where was that dent?
Can I approach, Your Honor?
Well, I've got it right here. You can tell me where.
So the dent in the door is right here.
On the lower right, as you look at the picture?
Yes, Your Honor. This is not, it doesn't show
So
it
there's
in
some
this photo.
white, like 5 white dots in that area.
Yeah.
What are those? Were those there before?
They were not. I've been here 9 years.
She said I kicked her door twice, so I don't know how it put 5 white dots on there.
All right, so Mr. Gerald, anything more?
I'd just like for her to leave me alone.
All right, folks, so you've heard all the evidence at this point. You heard what she had to say and you heard what he had to say. There's always 3 sides to every story. There's what he said, what she said, and what actually happened. Now, I don't expect any of you to consider yourself a judge or anything like that in this case, but I'm sure a lot of you have seen a lot of these kind of things over the years. I myself spent months and months and months working in the restraining order court. So I've seen plenty of these where on the face of it, it seems like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening to this person. But then when the trial happens, a lot of other stuff comes out. So I'd like you to stop the video right here, comment down below what way do you think the judge is going to go with this, and then just below that comment what you would do if you were the judge.
All right, so Ms. Bell, Mr. Gerald, that's what the court's going to do here. I do find the weight of the evidence causes this court to continue this order, but it's going to be short given what we've heard from Mr. Gerald about an October leave day. I'm going to make this through the end of the year. And I'm not going to make any, I'm going to continue with that temporary order. I'm not going to make any orders that you exclude or stay away because I'm not going to effectively evict Mr. Gerald. And the issue is just don't contact each other. Don't contact each other through others, social media, family, friends, anyway. And of course, don't harm Ms. Bell or her property. And I see that that photo does show damage. The photo that was provided by a respondent, the area that is alleged to have been kicked, makes sense that that looks like that happened. And so, Mr. Gerald, then sign off on this order just the same as the temporary order. Don't contact Ms. Bell. Don't harm her. And then I'm going to make this order end December 31st of 2022.
All right, folks. Well, there we have it. Now, it's easy to say that this was a bit of a cop-out knowing that the guy was going to be moving soon, so it was easier to just sign the order. I'm not sure about this particular jurisdiction, but in Australia, what a judge can do where they don't feel an order is necessary is have a civil agreement signed between the 2 parties, basically agreeing to leave each other alone. Again, I don't know if that's an option in this case, but having looked at it, I don't know that it was really fair to land this guy with a restraining order. Obviously, we weren't there, and this is one of the challenges that a judge has in these scenarios because there's so many of them that go through the courts every single day. They can't know exactly what happened unless there's CCTV or other kind of evidence. When it's he said, she said, a lot of the times the applicant is the one who kind of gets the order. But anyway, let me know what you think down below. I'd really appreciate to hear your thoughts on this. There's a good chance that this video will be demonetized because of the nature of it. So if you'd like to support the channel, make sure and hit that like button and share this video. It's the best way to get us out there. We'll catch you in the next one, folks. Sláinte. Guys, I am absolutely loving this Judge Fleischer. He is awesome. It's my understanding that Colin, definitely not Cromwell, actually had him on for an interview the other night, so I'm going to check that out while I'm doing a bit of work. Obviously, I'm not in my usual surrounds. I'm not in my usual studio. I've got a lot going on at the moment, so I've been kind of busy hard at that one. This sovereign citizen lady, who happens to be a fugitive from justice, got pulled over and she tries the traveling thing. Judges have an absolutely none of it. So check this out. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think.
Okay, let me do this real quick.
I'm not your attorney, but I'm gonna stand next to you. I look tough.
Thank you.
I try.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy to do that. Are you Aaron Teresa Riley?
Yes, sir.
Do we know, did they give her another PR bond? What happened here? Did you post a surety bond or did you get another PR bond?
No, I posted a surety bond.
Miss Riley, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon, racing on a highway from cases that are from September of 2023. And now you've picked up a failure to identify oneself while being a fugitive from justice. On the new case, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, ma'am. Okay.
On June 2024, officers observed a vehicle that had a fictitious license plate similar to those used by sovereign citizens. The officer conducted a traffic stop. The defendant was asked for her license, but she said she did not have one since she was not driving but traveling. Officers asked her for her name, to which she replied that she has no name. After asking multiple times, she advised that her last name was Teresa, her first name was Erin, and that her date of birth was August 17, 1985. Officers then used TCIC to look for her information. It had negative results. She was identified via APIS. She had open warrants out of Harris County court body.
She gave what name again?
Erin Teresa. She said her last name was Teresa, Your Honor.
Got it. Okay. Miss Riley, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. You have a valid Texas driver license, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Can you run her license, please? You have valid liability insurance in your name.
Yes, sir.
Then you're not allowed to drive.
I won't be driving.
You're not allowed to be driving, no conveying.
No, sir. I
However
won't
you try
travel
to-
or anything.
No getting in the driver's seat.
Yes, sir.
If you do, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing 6 months in jail every single time. Now, what do you do for a living?
I don't work.
How do you survive? How do you eat? How do you get money?
Well, I have a trust fund, but I'm a beneficiary of. My father passed away and he left some assets.
Are you able to afford a lawyer?
Not currently, but
How much is in the trust fund?
quite a bit of assets, not actual dollar amounts. It's assets. I have some mortgages and such. If I have some time, I could possibly be able to talk and get the funds.
No, the problem is that your case is older than Jesus. It's time to do something now.
Yes, sir. I
So-
was trying to do that at my previous court dates. I came twice and I tried to get.
So please, you don't have to say anything. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna appoint your lawyer today. We will figure out today what happens with your cases. Do not leave.
I won't.
Otherwise, I'm telling you, I'm gonna make your bond so high, you'll split into 3.
Yes, sir. I would like to settle the matter.
Okay, so, right, I will appoint you someone today and we'll try to figure something out for you, okay? Just for now, I'm gonna have you sign this affidavit, no driving. And then after that, I'll just have you take a seat in the first pew over there and we'll find you a lawyer.
Thank
Do
you.
not leave until I excuse
Yes,
you.
sir.
Okay, please.
All right, and now we're going to have some clips of this judge being an absolute boss. Enjoy.
Do you have a Texas driver license?
No.
Look at me. You will now sign an affidavit promising me you're not going to drive. I don't care what is going on in your life. I don't care if Mother Teresa needs to go to church. Bambi has to go to the hospital. You get into a car and drive. I will have a contempt hearing. You will be facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. Do you understand? Not allowed to drive. That is now a bond condition. And if I find that you do, I will hold you in contempt. And you're facing 6 months every single time because it's an offense in and of itself. Number 1. Number 2, you're also charged with using cocaine. I'm going to drug test you like crazy. If I find that you're using, I will put you in jail. And I'm going to tell you now, the fact that you have alcohol in the car is a minimum of 5 days in jail to any sentence that you get. I guarantee you, if you go to jail for 5 days, immigration will put a detainer on you. Not only that, you do not look like you're in stellar health. So, at your advanced age, in your condition now, Using cocaine is probably about the worst thing you can do when you're begging for a heart attack.
Y estaba gritando por un paro cardíaco, pidiendo un paro cardíaco.
Because it's a second offense, I will now be requiring you to put a device on your ankle to prove to me that you're not consuming alcohol. Be careful for anything you put in your body. Crazy because he was using cocaine. I'm going to tell you now, if you have demons, you better address it. Because if you don't, I'm going to do it for you. And I promise you, you're not going to like the way that I do it.
Gomez Angel. He's in the box.
They gave him another PR bond in this case? Absolutely not. He goes with you. Absolutely not. Not over and over and over and over. Why such anger, Mr. Woods? Why such anger? I want to know where the anger stems from. What happened to you, Mr. Woods? What is going on with you? Tell me. Why such anger? If you think that this is going to be easy, you are sorely mistaken, Mr. Woods. Why such anger? The only way all this is going to stop is when we get to the root of what anger is and why it continues to happen. The only way you will, Mr. Woods, the only way you will stop picking these cases up is when you look in the mirror and find out why you have such anger. You can't run forever. You're going to have to face this at some point. And if you can't do it on your own, then you're going to do it with me. But I'm going to tell you now, I'm not letting you go. I'm going to keep you so close to me that you're going to think that we're now a union. Tell me, why? We will sit here until you tell me why. If you need time to think, you can go to the jury box and tell me. Why is it fair that the people of Harris County get to pay for a lawyer for you when you do nothing and play Xbox all day? It's not cool. If you get a job and it pays little, I'm happy to give you a lawyer. But while you're not doing anything, it's not cool, man. No. You've already told me your portion of already, okay? Start working. When you come back, I will give you a lawyer. But while you're not doing anything, I can't just ask the people of Harris County to pay for a lawyer for you when you're not doing anything. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I have kids.
How many kids you got? You have 4 kids? What? Do you think kids are going to wait a whole month to eat?
No, I'm there's no, sir, just because I'm not working doesn't mean I don't have an income coming in. I mean, I get
What kind of income you got coming in? I would say, I want you to look at me. Don't look over there. Don't look up. Don't look down. 90% of the people that we have in custody are because they have no self-control. They wig out and do whatever they want to do without thinking. If I do this, what's going to happen? If I say this, what's going to happen? Every damn murder case, every aggravated assault, discharging, no self-control.